YouTube! Welcome back to my channel, Fantasy Football Perspective. My name's Lucas. Welcome to another episode of Sleeper Starts, Sleeper Sits, Week 5 edition. Week 5 is correct. Going into Week 5 NFL Fantasy Football. This is the weekly episode where I tell you, those fringe flex plays, if I'm going to play them or if I'm going to sit them in my lineups this coming week. Little disclaimer, I'm no perfect human being. This series is simply my perspective on some, 5 or 6 players and what I'm going to do with them. I tried to present the research that I'm using in making these decisions. It's not always going to work out the way I think it is. That's part of fantasy football. That's part of doing research in fantasy football. You think you have it nailed and something else happens. An injury happens. One of my golden rules last week didn't hit. I always say sit starting receivers against Jair Alexander. Well, Deontay Johnson had a day against Jair Alexander. So not always are these going to hit. There's going to be some misses along the way. I'm just letting you guys know my perspective on these types of things. Little caveat, I just want to say thank you to all my supporters out there. So far, we're up to 73 subscribers. Thank you to all who's liked the videos so far. Tune in. It makes this worthwhile. I appreciate it. When I first started, I was getting 20 views a video. Now I'm getting 40 views a video. It's just nice to see. That still pumps me up. It still keeps me wanting to make content. And I just want to say I greatly appreciate it. At any point during this video, if you feel that I helped you out, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ask a question underneath if you want some more elaboration. I'll try to answer each question as thoroughly as possible. Without further ado, let's get into Week 5. Sleeper starts, sleeper sits. Hit that intro. All right, let's get into this video. The first thing we'll start with this week on Sleeper Starts and Sleeper Sits is my Sleeper Starts of the week. And I'm going to start no other than Jacoby Myers, a fringe flex play for a lot of people. Jacoby Myers' trend the last 2 weeks is something that we need to be talking about, and it's in the target department. 14 and 12 targets, 9 and 8 receptions, nearing up to that 20-point-a-game PPR standards. That is awesome to see for Jacoby Myers. He's going against the Houston secondary, which is not very good. I expect Mac Jones to keep airing it out. Mac Jones is throwing a lot of passes each game. Let's bring up how the Texans did against the Bills last time. And as you can see, a lot of receivers got catches, a lot of yards, 256 yards, and that's with Buffalo putting in their scout team in the fourth quarter. And once they got that big lead, I expect the Patriots to be able to move the ball pretty easily, and I expect this target trend to continue for Jacoby Myers. He is hitting my lineups this week in the flex position if I have him on my team. My second sleeper start of the week is Marvin Jones. Listen, I just talked about Jacoby Myers' trends. We see this down here, 3-3 the last game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is low-key underrated. They're ranked like top 10 defense for the year in forced turnovers and just overall defense efficiency. He has a much easier matchup this week with Tennessee. DJ Chark's out for the year, so his target competition is going to be lower now. Marvin Jones should get back to this, 11 targets, 6 receptions with a touchdown type week. I really like him this week. He's also a sneaky DFS play this weekend, and I'll be throwing him into some DFS lineups as well. See how the Titans fared last week against the Jets. Zach Wilson kind of ate him up a little bit. Corey Davis had a big day. Keelan Cole had 92 yards. Jamison Crowder, doing his target hog in the slot. Seven receptions off 9 targets, 61. Expect a big week from Marvin Jones. And also, while I'm at it, expect a big week from LaVisca as well. Good plays in the flex position on your fantasy team. Last sleeper start of the week, not so sleeper really, is Corey Davis. He has boom or bust potential each week. And this offense is just going to keep getting better with Zach Wilson at the realm. They have a pretty easy matchup against the Falcons. Let's see what Washington did to him last week. Terry McLaurin, Washington's all-pro receiver, went 6 for 123 with 2 touchdowns. With the defense keying in on him, expect a similar performance from Corey Davis. What I really like to see with that offense is Zach Wilson extending plays and actually taking some deep shots down the field. Corey Davis is the recipient of those deep passes. So, love Corey Davis this week. He will also be entering some of my DFS lineups of the week. So to recap, my 3 sleeper starts of the week: Corey Davis, New York Jets; Marvin Jones, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm having a hard time remembering my first sleeper start. Oh, Jacoby Myers, New England Patriots. So, now let's move into our sleeper sits of the week. And these are some trends I'm not liking very much. And these numbers are inflated. Let me tell you why. Miles Sanders started off week 1, 17.3 points. That was your chance to flip him for some value. What keeps happening now is, you can see this kind of in the background right here with Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell's getting the serious touches in the red zone. He's scoring the touchdowns. He's getting the passes. Kenneth Gainwell slowly getting a bigger role in this offense. Now Miles Sanders only getting 10 touches in the game. The trend's going down. Snap percentage is staying about the same, but just the opportunities. He only got 5 opportunities last game, and then went to 10 this game. Yikes. Not good usage for, a running back you had to pick up in the 3rd, 4th round. If we learned anything, when these in the offseason, if they tell you that these running backs are going to be in the committee, listen to that, because they are going to be in the committee. They just don't go saying, the coach doesn't say that in the offseason and then say, all right, well, we're going to give him full workload now. Doesn't happen. We see that with Miles Sanders, and we also see that with Myles Gaskin. I am a Myles Gaskin owner in Dynasty, and he was a fringe play for me sometimes because he was a safe, 10 points, mainly because of his targets. He hasn't been super efficient on the ground. I know 5 yards a carry sounds good, but he's just not getting the opportunity, I guess would be better words. He's just not getting the carries. Maybe he didn't get to play as much because Indianapolis just came out and just beat the brakes off the Dolphins last week. But Myles Gaskin only 23% snap percentage. I don't know if he's in the doghouse or something. What happened? But it was very odd because Myles Gaskin has been playing okay when he gets the chance. So it didn't make much sense. Either way, he's coming up against Tampa Bay, whose defense is just too good. And I'm not going to be playing against one of my golden rules. I'm not going to be playing any running back against that Tampa Bay defense. All right, sleeper sit number 3 is actually both these guys. Let me explain why. They're going into a matchup, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, going to match up to the Bills, or the Bills to Kansas City at Kansas City. Expect a high-scoring game. Expect Kansas City to, get on the board early, unlike Buffalo's previous 2 matchups, which is going to put them in the passing, frame of mind with Josh Allen. And I'm just looking at these 2 receiving numbers back, the last 3 games, and neither one of them have more than 3 targets in the last 3 games. So, if they're playing from behind, which I expect, or, playing a super tight game where the Bills have to push the ball down the field, I just don't expect the opportunity to be there for them to run the ball. I think there's safer options out there. Kansas City they're okay in the rush defense. So maybe one of these guys break off a big run, but I just think, with the game script possibly being a passing game, I think you have, better options most likely on your team to put in that flex position. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for, sleeper starts, sleeper sits, week 5. If you have any questions, drop them underneath. Like always, like the video, and remember, this is my perspective. Hope you all have a good night. Little update to the schedule. I am filming the quarter year update tonight, and that is going to be uploaded on Friday. Can't wait to hear from the guys to see how the teams that they root for are doing this year and what they think about their teams moving forward. Those 4 teams that are featured in our quarter year update are the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hope you all have a great night. Peace!